Welcome back, everybody. Today's a bit of a different video. It's just a quick one. I want to talk to you about a new food that I've picked up. I haven't tried it yet, but potentially it's going to find its way into my feeding schedule. It's this, Vitalis. You might have seen this around. I'm not new to it. I've never used it. But some time ago, I was at an MA store and George Farmer was there and these guys were there giving away free samples. Now, I declined the samples based on that branding. I think that branding is terrible. That does not suggest quality product to me at all. So I've overlooked it for a long time. That, to me, is like in-house, home brand. It just looks naff. It really does look naff. Wow, that's a word, isn't it? Naff. I haven't said that in a very long time. But yeah. So what actually did pique my interest is Vitalis are now quite big in the US as well for providing public aquariums. Now, those guys take their fish very, very seriously. Now, there's no guarantee that they are transferring that level of effort into the DTC, direct customer market, but it'd be a lot of work to change formulas and have more things made, so it probably wouldn't actually even be more cost effective. The thing that really triggered my interest in it, though, is on John Hudson's channel, one of the top boys was being interviewed about it, and he happened to mention something that I hadn't taken the time to look at the packaging because it's right there. Soft pellet. And that is the sole reason I bought this. Now, I've just come back from Aqua Jardinerie over in Newark in Gloucestershire, which is one of my favourite stores. Not just because they have fish from us, but the health of the tanks. If you've seen the other videos with their tanks, even after a busy weekend, I mean, late on a Sunday, spotless. But the reason I've picked this up is the soft pellets. So we normally call them sort of like soft gran. Ebo do them, Discus Food do them, and that is something that we do feed. Of course, I don't have one of theirs ready to go, but Discus Food being that brand, we use a lot of their stuff. That's in Ebo paste, Ebo as well. Actually, haven't got the other stuff, the Ebo stuff right there in that drawer. Oh, that's full of Dr. Basilia. So, why do I like soft? Soft stuff tends to hold together better in the water than a hard crisp. Now, saying that, our food is a very hard crisp, but it will stay in the water column. It will stay together for anywhere up to 24 hours, depending on your flow. Maybe you're only going to get 8 to 12 hours of it staying stable. But if your fish haven't eaten it in that time, you're probably feeding them the wrong food. So I picked this up and had a look at it. And there's really not a massive amount of information on there. And this, although it says it is for all grazing fish, the hypans won't be getting this. But this is not an algae wafer. This is not an algae pellet. Okay? Because the composition with ours is actually very, very close. They've focused on some things that we haven't, and we've focused on things like fiber that they haven't. But their first ingredient is fish and fish derivatives, same as ours, fish meal. Then we've got derivatives of vegetable origin. That's very vague. I'm a little bit off put by that. This is not cheap. Now, I don't know what the recommended retail is, but this 300 gram pot of this cost me £19, $18.99. No joke. That's not cheap. That's not what I would call an affordable food. I'd say that's up on the premium end. You know, I can buy Ebo or Discus Food for a similar price. See, when we talk about vegetables in ours, we properly break it down, okay? So you've got spirulina, you've got herbs, you've got willow bark, you've got alder cones, stinging nettles, alfalfa, the one I can't say, the manan, parsley, sea algae, and then it goes on paprika, spinach, and carrots, as well as algae. This next one is algae, so we also have that. And then it's oils and fats, mollusks and crustaceans. So yes, we've got the green lip mussel in there. Everybody has that. And then you've obviously got fish oil, which in ours, we actually tell you is 49% omega fatty acids, which is very, very important for overall health and also the egg health. So if you're looking to breed your ancestress, which is what this is aimed at, ancestress species, this is, yeah, brilliant stuff. Even if I do say so myself. But ours are very, very small, crisp type wafers. All right. And this, I don't know whether they do a range of sizes. Most manufacturers do. This looks like cattle feed, 8mm pellets. And it was the soft bit that I was interested in. The guy on John Hudson's interview said that it's, you know, it's crushable, it's malleable, you can turn it into discs. Now, the EBO and the discus food stuff genuinely is. We feed that to Corys and stuff. The only ancestress food we have ever fed is this, since its creation. So squish factor, this is an 8mm pellet. It's fairly squishy. Takes some force, but it is cracking. So you're not going to play around with it a whole bunch. Yeah, in fact, if you try and... It does, yeah, oh, geez. All right, that's actually pretty crumbly. That's not as good as... Yeah. Yeah, it's not as good as I was hoping for. Dash that in there. Nothing's going to come out and eat that other than shrimp, I would imagine. However, if this brings out, in the next however long this video takes, if this brings out the L183s or the Styrosomas actually come and eat it, I'll be changing to this. Because 183s, they never come out in daylight. So, if you look at the back of the packaging for the guaranteed analysis, they've gone with slightly higher protein content of 34.1, whereas because this is aimed at ancestress, we've gone for quite low protein, 31.2. And then the next one on theirs is crude fat, which is 8.2, and ours is 7.2. Crude fiber, which is where we focus, remember that, the alder cones and the willow bark and that, their crude fiber is 2.9, and ours is 4.9. Moisture of 5%, and moisture of 23.7. 23.7%. So 27% of the weight of that has no nutritional benefit to your fish. This has 95% of this has nutritional benefit to your fish, 5% moisture. Then we go on to inorganic matter. Now, I've heard a lot of people go, oh, that doesn't sound good. And it doesn't sound good, does it? It doesn't. But all that really is crude ash. All right, and that is on the back of everything. There is 10.2% inorganic matter, and our ash, I think it's 6.5% crude ash. It's in everything. It's things that have been incinerated. It's a necessary part of food. It has to be put on the label because it is a part of the food. So first impressions. So if you get our breeders' greens, give them a whiff. There's a kind of leafy fishiness about them, okay? And that's because we actually do have quite a lot of fish derivatives in there. So this is a balanced diet for your omnivorous bottom grazer. This one, it's very veggie smelling. There's no sort of hint of fish to it, and it does, just from the smell, you get the smell that it's oily. Now, oils can be good. I'm not saying oils are a bad thing at all. Oils work as attractants, and the oils and fats are, if they're omega-3 or especially omega-6, which I think is something that Vitalis actually concentrate on a little better. Although looking at the additives, wow. We have twice the vitamin A that they do. Slightly less vitamin D3. Slightly less vitamin E. B, they don't list vitamin B. B1, not listed. Oh, okay, so we seem to have slightly more, it's a different nutritional profile. Yeah. We went just for a vitamin pack, whereas they've got iodine, iron, copper. But a lot of those are preservatives. Yeah, technological additives, preservatives. Sorry about that. Whereas if you read the top line of Breeders' Greens, a staple food where no dyes or preservatives are used. There's no preservatives in that. Not saying one is better than the other. This never fails for us, works wonders. Fish, ancestors, pretty much anything at the bottom of the hill stream loaches, that's what they are bred and fed on. So I'm interested to try this, because this probably isn't the formula that I would have wanted to try, but it's the only one that Aqua Jardinerie had at the time, or had today, that is squishy, or supposed to be squishy. I know what will eat it. So here we are. This is the L471 Orange Venezuelan Cories and Genisteiger tank. Now, if the Genisteigers won't eat this, because bearing in mind they'd eat a moose if it ran through there slow enough, there's a problem. I'm going to throw in some Breeders' Greens. Now, it's very strange that the Genisteigers didn't come straight out for the Breeders' Greens. That is one of their favourite foods. But it's entirely possible that the new smell from the Vitalis stuff was making them uneasy. It was a change they've never experienced. But eventually, the biggest one came out, unfortunately, straight onto the BG. And the other two skirted around the edges for a little while. But as you can see, it's a familiar food for them. The big guy's gone straight for it. The Venezuelan orange Cories are out there enjoying it. Even the program is getting involved. There is almost no fish that doesn't eat the Breeders' Greens. I mean, the zebra plecos don't. The 236s will occasionally. Bit of interest from the big Genisteiger on the right. Has a little nom, bit of a taste. Not quite sure about it. Oh, is it? This tastes different. Okay, no. Well, one last go. And then, no, that's not for me. So, yeah, that was kind of the most action it got. So, an hour on, and all three of the Vitalis pellets I've put in are still there. I think they've been mouthed a bit, but there is one and a couple of bits of the handful of Breeders' Greens we put in. So at this stage at least, they still prefer the Breeders' Greens. So no, it seems that on the first attempt to fish, even the Genesteigers didn't want to go for the Vitalis pellets, but you can't judge any food on the first time the fish have seen it. It's great if they go straight for it and just nom it, but consistent feedings, or if you really need to change a fish's diet, a period of starvation works wonders. You know, I'm not saying leave them a year, but sometimes 4, 5, 6 days it can take to change what a fish will eat. People that have changed from live foods to frozen foods and then down to dry foods know exactly what I'm talking about. Some fish are just stubborn. So we're going to continue with the Vitalis stuff. I mean, I'm not paying nearly 20 quid for something for it to just sit there. But yeah, we'll see how it gets on, and you will know. You'll know if I like it, because nutrition and the food that you feed is
sort of what we base everything around, because I genuinely do believe if you have good food, good things follow. As long as you haven't got nuclear water, obviously. But yeah, if you haven't tried the Vitalis stuff, maybe it's worth checking it out. I've expanded my horizons a little bit more. How many foods have you got in your cupboard? Be honest with yourself. I'm not saying be honest with your partner. You know, that free food that companies keep giving you. Oh, by the way, we do actually have a shameless giveaway on at the moment. If you like and follow our Facebook page and share the promotional post, you're in with a chance of winning some Dr. Basilia, a pint of Breeders' Greens, and the first person to get our Botanical range in your hand. Check it out.